Alright guys, today it's time to look into one of the most entertaining loadouts in all Team Fortress 2. The Scout's primary weapons, the Scattergun. A Scout has 6 different shotguns at his disposal, and in this video we're gonna rank them from worst to best. So, grab a cold one, light up a smoke, and let's get into it. Look guys, I'm being completely objective here. I may like one weapon more than another, but if I know a weapon is just overly better than my personal favorite, it's getting a higher spot. I'm keeping it unbiased as possible. This topic is honestly wide open, cause Scout mains usually run all kind of setups and loadouts. The fact that every single weapon has its own pros and cons makes the Scout an incredible versatile class, especially in 1v1 situations. So let's do a quick recap of the stats and see what weapons we actually have on the table. First up, the stock Scattergun. Clip size of 6, 32 max ammo, 60 base damage and 180 critical damage. Next, the Force of Nature, 2 shots in the clip, 32 max ammo, 65 base damage and 194 on a crit. Then we have the Shortstop, 4 shots in the clip, 32 max ammo, 48 base damage and 144 on a crit. Up next is the Soda Popper, 2 shots in the clip, 32 max ammo, 60 base damage and 180 on crits. Then the Babyface Blaster, 4 shots in the clip, 32 max ammo, 60 base damage and 180 on a crit. And finally the Backscatter, 4 shots in the clip, 32 max ammo, 60 base damage and 180 crits. Those are the 6 shotguns currently in the game for the Scout. Honestly, it would be pretty cool if Valve adds some new Scatterguns. Even just one new weapon, right? But hey, we already know that's not happening because we know exactly how Valve operates. Anyway, like I said, this is going to be an objective, fast-paced video with a gameplay of each weapon in the background. We are going to briefly analyze each one and rank them from worst to best based on overall performance. Starting off the ranking comes in dead last at number 6, we have the Babyface Blaster. There's a small niche of Scout players who absolutely love this gun, especially years ago before the nerf hammer. When you equip this shotgun, your base speed drops from 138 down to 120 of your normal speed, but it gives you a boost meter on your HUD. Landing shots with any weapon builds up this meter, and at max boost your speed shoots up to a crazy 173%. It takes only 100 points of damage to max it out. But here comes the catch, and the reason it got completely ruined. The gun comes with a 34% smaller clip size. You start slower and you can double jump without losing a massive chunk of your boost. On top of that, the real deal breaker is that any type of damage you take from any weapon immediately drains your boost meter. That massive downsize completely kills the weapon momentum, and that's why I have to put it at the bottom. To be actually good with this gun, you need to put in serious hours and massive practice in casual. For newer players trying out Scout, it feels completely awkward because of the base speed reduction and the fact that you feel punished for double jumping, which is Scout's main defense mechanism. You have to be incredible disciplined with your movement. It's a shame because visually I think it's a beautiful Scattergun. Before the nerf it was completely broken, totally OP, but today it's just not a viable option for a casual Scout. That's why it stays in the last place. Moving on to the next one, sitting at number 5, the Backscatter. The main gimmick of the shotgun is that it delivers mini crits when you shoot an enemy directly in the back from close range. The whole playstyle revolves around flanking, catching people off guard and melting them from behind with an extra mini crit damage. Of course, it has its downsides. It has a 34% smaller clip size, 0 random crits, and a 20% wider bullet spread, which making landing on your pellets a bit harder. Much like the Babyface Blaster, you need to put in a lot of hours to have a great map knowledge to actually get any real value out of it and have a good match. Usually people pair this gun with the Bonk Atomic Punch, so they can safely slip past enemies' lines without taking damage, position themselves right behind the target and start blasting those mini-crits. To be fair, it's a really fun weapon, but not every lobby or match is gonna allow you to play like that. If the enemy team is tightly packed or constantly checking their flanks, you're done. That's why it takes the second to last spot, right above the Babyface Blaster. But man, it's an entertaining weapon. The firing sound of this weapon is amazing. Honestly, I really wish Valve would give it a small tweak, a tiny buff, just like the Babyface. Right now, they aren't a viable option for a casual player. You have to sweat your mind off and put in too much effort to make them work. Valve really needs to drop a small buff on these two shotguns. Moving along with the ranking, at number 4 we have the Shortstop. Now this thing is basically a pistol/shotgun hybrid. It's incredibly fun to use and honestly I feel it's pretty underrated by most scout players. For me, it's a much better option than the Babyface Blaster and the Backscatter. Looking at the pros, it has a 42% faster firing speed and deals 100 more damage per pellet. Plus, it has a MagFed reload system, meaning that when you reload, you refresh all 4 shots instantly, instead of loading them shell by shell. It also has an alternate fire that lets you shove enemies back. On the downside, it fires 60% fewer pellets per shot, has a 32% smaller clip size compared to stock, and you take increased knockback from damaged enemies and air blast while it's deployed. I gotta say, the 3 weapons we have talking about so far are all guns that you really need to know how to use. If you put in the work, you can be really good and super dynamic with your movement. They are entertaining to use but hard to master. That being said, I think the Shortstop is way less difficult to learn and pick up than the other 2. I remember when I first started playing Scout and got into TF2 about 12-13 years ago, the Shortstop was one of my go-to choices. I used to get a ton of kills with it because it feels really simple. Landing your shots, it's pretty easy since you have those 4 fast rounds. The fact that it reloads all at once instead of one by one, it's a huge safety net and makes it incredibly versatile. It's a very slept on weapon that does have a learning curve, but it's definitely a softer curve than the bottom 2. Alright, we are officially in the top 3 and coming in at number 3 is the Force of Nature. Remember how I promised at the beginning that this would be an objective ranking? Well, this weapon is exactly why I said that. The Force of Nature is my absolute favorite, number 1 primary weapon for the Scout. When I started playing TF2 many years ago, this was the first weapon I fell in love with. On hit, it knocks enemies back, and if you are airborne when you shoot, the recoil blasts you in the opposite direction. This opens up the jump force mechanic, which essentially grants you a triple jump and massive vertical mobility. It has a 50% faster firing speed and fires 20% more pellets per shot. However, you pay for it with a 66% smaller clip size, 10% less damage per pellet, and any unshot shell left in the chamber is completely waste when you reload. For me, this weapon is just simply and straightforward to use. That's why back when I was a complete noob, and honestly I'm still pretty bad at the game, this weapon felt incredibly intuitive to start with. Compared to the remaining 2 on the list, landing shots with the Force of Nature just feel completely more comfortable to me, even though it only has 2 shots in the clip. But again, objectively is key here. Even though it's the number 1 gun in my heart, the knockback can sometimes screw your 1v1 fights just as much as it can help you. That said, the critical hit damage is the highest out all the Scout's shotguns, which solidifies its spot at number 3. Taking the silver medal at number 2, we have the Soda Popper. When you equip the Soda Popper, a hype meter appears on your HUD, dealing around 350 points of damage with any weapon builds up this meter. Once it's full, you can activate hype mode for 8 seconds, which allows you to perform up 5 additional air jumps. Basically, if you can land your shots and build a meter, you can literally fly around the lobby. Stat-wise, it gives you a 25% faster reload speed, a 50% faster firing speed, but has the same 66% smaller clip size, and you lose any unused ammo on your reload. Stat-wise, it gives you a 25% faster reload speed, a 50% faster firing speed, but has that same 66% smaller clip size and you lose any unused ammo on reload. In terms of pure shooting mechanics, it's practically identical to the Force of Nature, but it has that massive advantage with the hype meter. If you have solid aim, hit your shots, and play smart enough to stay alive, you became completely unstoppable in casual matches. Now, full disclosure, I am pretty bad at this game. Personally, my playstyle is way too kamikaze when I play casual TF2. I usually rush in, maybe get a kill or 2 and die immediately. Because of that, I almost never survive long enough to actually charge up the hype meter, which is why I don't run it. But if you have good aim and better survival instincts than me, this is a top tier option to absolutely destroy everyone in your lobby. The sheer evasion from those extra air jumps makes you untargetable, easily the number 2 spot. And finally, we're down to the absolute best scattergun in the entire game. In my opinion, looking at the big picture, this is the most complete, the most devastating, and the one that can completely break lobbies if you know how to use it. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. The stock Scattergun. That's right. One of the most beautiful things about TF2 is that you don't need to grind for hours and hours just to get the best weapons. Most of the time, the default weapons, the stock, are actually the best in the game. Look at the Soldier's default rocket launcher. It's amazing. Honestly, for me, Demoman's best overall loadout is completely stock. Pyro's stock flamethrower is the best too. There are so many examples where stock is just king, and that makes TF2 so great. It hands you top tier weapons right from the start. Unlike other games like Call of Duty Warzone, in those games you have to level up first just to create a class. Your weapons are level gated, and the meta guns are usually unlocked at level 50 or 60. You have to grind like crazy just to compete, and the starter weapons are usually garbage that nobody touches. In TF2, it's the exact opposite. Stock is elite, and that's exactly the case with the Scattergun. The stock Scattergun is perfectly balanced, but it has one massive advantage over all the others. It has 6 shots in the clip. That gives you higher damage potential in a sustained fight. On top of that, it allows you to manage your shots and reloads however you need depending on the context of your 1v1. For example, when you duel another scout, a pyro, or a soldier, you have to read the fight. Sometimes it's better to shoot 3 times, reload, and keep shooting. Other times it's better to just space it. Shoot, reload, shoot, reload. And sometimes you just need to dump all 6 shots and then do a full reload. You have total control over those 6 shells to play the 1 versus 1 on your own terms. With weapons like the Force of Nature or the Soda Popper, you shoot twice and they're instantly locked into a reload animation. The stock Scattergun gives you options. The core mechanic of the stock Scattergun is mastering that patience. It's about knowing when to shoot, when to reload, and not rushing your 1v1s out of anxiety. You take your time to reload, and while you do, you jump around your airstrafe, you dodge the enemy projectiles, and as soon as you have a shell ready, you blast them and finish the job. Now, even though it's the best shotgun, it definitely requires practice. For me personally, like I said earlier, it's actually easier to land my shots with the Force of Nature or the Soda Popper in terms of raw accuracy. With stock Scattergun, I love it, but I don't main it because I tend to whiff a lot of my shots. I haven't mastered it 100% yet, but if you're just starting out in TF2 and you only have this default gun, stick with it and learn it. I'm not exaggerating when I said the stock Scattergun is easily in the top 10 best weapons in the entire game. You just need to get used to the context of fights and manage your shooting and reloads timings. And well, that's the ranking. I honestly loved talking about this because TF2 is just special. Beyond being a highly lovable game with charismatic characters and great gameplay, even the weapons are a whole world of their own. Every gun is built for a different scenario. Some work perfectly in one situation, and others excel in a completely different one. That's the beauty of it. So that's going to be for today's video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you enjoy it or found it helpful, please drop a like. I'm going to try to keep up a steady pace and upload videos every single week. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of content. Let's make a conversation of this. Which are your favorite Scattergun of the Scouts? We could rank the soldiers' rocket launchers next, the best flamethrowers, or the best sniper rifles. I am completely open to whatever you guys want to see. Thanks you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!